setting up on our next Day Odyssey series. Almost 9:30 a.m. right now. That'll be our official departure time. So we'll see what time it is when we get there. What kind of time we make. Now passing through Towson. We'll be picking up York Road northbound. Originally US 111, but now Maryland Route 45. The Towson traffic circle. I hate these things. One in circles, like a NASCAR driver. There's Route 45. The modern day York Road. As I said, formerly US 111, up until the early 60s. Now passing through Timonium, Maryland. To the left, the Maryland State Fairgrounds. Where once a year folks have fun. Though it's been a while since my last fair visit. At this point, York Road is rather built up on either side. Though I can recall when it wasn't. Part of the reason for today's route is we follow the Northern Central Railway pretty closely along here. And further up as well on this route, or on our chosen route today. Up ahead there was an underpass until the mid-80s, which passed this road beneath the tracks. But the tracks were pulled up, so no more need for the underpass. And it got filled in, as it looks today, right up here. Just over that hump is where the overpass would have been for the tracks. Built in 1935 and pulled out in the mid-80s. In fact, their Cockeysville station would have been to the right, but long gone. Where the parking lot is back there, that's where Cockeysville station for the Northern Central would have been. And this road's still built up with businesses and things. But up here beyond Cockeysville, the road becomes more rural and 2 lanes as well, as it meanders northbound toward its namesake, York, PA. And up here the crossing of Western Run. When the Brigham's Price hasn't been replaced yet. It's got a hump in it. But there are still some 4-lane sections of the road as it passes businesses and things. In fact, through the trees to the left, there's the UPS Regional Distribution Center. All their stuff as well. Up ahead on the right is the Milton Inn, where George Washington once stopped. There it is, I believe that's it. George W. once ate there. When I pick these Day Odyssey routes, I try to pick the ones with a lot of history along them, along with some scenery as well, maybe, possibly. River routes not frequently traveled. To the right, or rather to the left, about a mile parallels I-83. That'll be our return route. But soon, up ahead, we enter Hereford, one of the many hamlets along our route. Another 83 connection here. which we'll avoid until the return trip. And why are these people stopping? Oh, they're turning there, okay. I couldn't tell the blinker too well.
Yeah.
And down here are crossing the big Gunpowder Falls. Also a state park around here with a couple of trails that parallel the falls. Nice to hike on. And up ahead, our next northern central locality, a place known as Parkton. The line, now bike trail, passes beneath this bridge on its way north from right to left. That's northbound. They built the bridge in 1935 and repaired it in the mid-80s. We'll stop and have a fast look here at Parkton at what's now a trail. Oh, I can turn here to access it, that's right. I can cut through this cool private parking lot if that sign's to be believed. Right over there. Here to the left, the former Parkton National Bank. Now a private home, but there was a bank at one time, and it's got a for sale sign out front. Anybody want to live in a bank? Can't be more secure than that. Up ahead the trail over those Jersey barriers. Looking south on the trail, on the old northern central right of way, towards the York Road Bridge that we just crossed. And down below there's Little Falls, looking south, but to the north, this line follows it for a while, as far as Beach V Run. I'm looking north, back towards the old York Road crossing, which is what that is. And here is how it looked once upon a time. Rather interesting, huh? Now looking north from the crossing, the Parkton train station would have been about a quarter mile up on the left, but now the site is totally grown over. The station was raised back in the early 70s when the commuter runs stopped running. Anyway, there's the Parkton deep cut. And the road that we're parked on here is the original York Road before the building of the bridge we crossed. And again, in the distance, the former Parkton National Bank. And now departing out on the original York Road. Going to regain the current York Road northbound. Right there's where the two come together again. This one and the current one. So you can see the roads line right up. We'll continue on. And up here, slowing down because of some maintenance of way going on. MOW for you. Here's an example of some of the scenery along our route. Mostly rural, of course. I think it looks good when it snows, and there's snow on the ground. Nice spring colors there. But up ahead, we enter the town of Maryland Line. It's called Maryland Line because it's just south of the Pennsylvania line. That's why it's called Maryland Line. Another nice hamlet, anyway. And up here, beyond the Maryland Line, is the Pennsylvania Line. At the end of this bend, right here where the pavement changes, if you can tell. There we go. Now north of the border, we're in Pennsylvania. But again, I forgot my passport. And up here to the right, a frog pond I used to frequent. You heard me right, I said used to frequent, no longer. I have found better ones since then. Here in Pennsylvania, this road is known as Susquehanna Trail. It changes names at the state line, but still goes to York. As I said before, it's the former US 111, which was the connector to US 11 across from Harrisburg, across the river from Harrisburg. Up here is PA 851, which turning left on the go west takes you to New Freedom, another northern central town. Up here the crossing of the former, well, I should say the current Georgetown Railroad. It still is. That's good. I'll try for a closer look. Now we're trackside, but what they called Pike Station, because back when it was built, that road was considered a pike. One of the many disused train stations that has seen better days for sure. This direction is eastbound towards Stewartstown, the line's namesake. And this direction is towards New Freedom. My understanding is they want to get the line up and running again. Maybe they'll be able to. Got some station platform left here. Commuter train stopped here up until 1972. Folks will take this train into New Freedom to transfer to the Northern Central. But there you have it, Pike Station on the Georgetown Railroad. We're about to continue north on the former Pike. And now continuing up the Pike and passing through Shrewsbury, which I have been informed has many nice antique shops. We have some dark clouds ahead as we depart Shrewsbury. Hope they don't put a damper on our ride. Pennsylvania scenery for you. Those clouds might look a bit dark and ominous, but as long as they don't rain, it's fine by me. But on the bright side, the silver lining, the clouds give you more even lighting in your video and less glare on your car windshield. So it's a mixed blessing, those clouds. Anyway, up here over the hill, we enter Loganville. Another one of the many quaint hamlets along the original route northbound from Baltimore. And this is downtown Loganville. Nice and peaceful. It's even got a church with a steeple. Well, it's got a belfry anyway, and maybe there are bats in it. Up here is PA 214, which if you follow westbound takes you to a place known as Seven Valleys. Yeah, they have cool names for towns up here too. Sometimes. Got a brand new Odyssey there that just opened up. A huge one. But don't buy your gas here. It's about a quarter more than it is in the Baltimore area. And now passing through the village of Jacobus. Still gas here averages a quarter more than the Baltimore area. I ain't paying that. We got a friend in PA, but he's overcharging us for gas. Some friend. Over there, part of York's water supply. And now here is York's water supply, Lake Redmond. To the right, a dam of sorts. And down here, a nice valley. We're parked way down there somewhere. Got a couple of minute raindrops on the windshield as we pass through Leader Heights. Let's hope that's all we get. It's about 11:20 p.m. a.m. rather right now as we enter York, PA. York was the first capital of the United States, believe it or not. The old road through York is called George Street. Then I believe the name Susquehanna Trail picks up after we depart York again. And this is considered part of the I-83 business route. Oop, red block, back at you. Up here we cross the original US 30, Philadelphia Street. Philly course would be to the right, about 90 miles, give or take. But beyond this, up ahead, we have the Northern Central one more time. We'll stop for a fast look. There'll be the crossing up ahead there. And here'll be the Northern Central station here in York. And now it's a Greyhound bus terminal. In the distance way down there, you can perhaps make out the tower that once controlled the movements between the Northern Central and the Ma and Pa. The Ma and Pa Junction is right there by that tower. That's the best I can get it from here. Anyway, that way there is north on the Northern Central. Though we're facing east right now. About half a mile up past the tower, the track bends to the left, to the north. And looking south on the Central, although my compass direction is west. Up there you can see where it bends to the south, just beyond the Georgia Street crossing. And of course it becomes a trail south of there, the Little Central Trail back to Maryland. I'm at the parting of Central. Just crossed the tracks, continuing north. And up here is the crossing of the Western Maryland line, now part of CSX, but formerly Western Maryland. But up here they don't have rapid transit. They have something called rapid transit. That's what they call their bus system up here. Just like a frog, hop to it. Up here we make a left turn to keep on the original Susquehanna Trail, right into there. Where he's going, in other words. And I got a shot to make it myself. You have to kind of sort of know the route to keep on it. And here we crossed the modern day US 30. Again, when I get my green block back, I'll be crossing it. Got one of our friends there by the road as we depart the York area. And up there you see a bit of a mountain. I believe they call that Blue Mountain here in Pennsylvania. Got a few more tiny spots of rain on the windshield, but they're drying up. Now passing through Zion's View, founded in 1757. Bit of history there for you. Now already departing it. Up here we enter Strinestown. And I once knew one of the Strines who had a connection to this town. Smart I used to work with had 3 uncles named Strine, and his name was Strine too, actually. One uncle stayed here in Strinestown, one moved to Harrisburg, York rather, and one moved to Lancaster. That's the family that gave his town its name. And I knew one of them. How about that? I knew one of the Strines personally. Not personally, on a business level, but I knew one. And already departing Strinestown. You can see what a big city it was. Now we cross over Conewago Creek, while still following the original Susquehanna Trail. Just saw a sign back there referring to this part of the road as Old Trail. One more clue to its origin. As I said, this was your route north before the coming of I-83. And now passing through Newberrytown. And up ahead we pass beneath I-83. That'll be our return route. Nice day to be trucking. And to keep on the original northbound route, up here one bears right. The obvious route appears to go that way, but the original route went this way. guess you kind of sort of have to know that. The original route north to Harrisburg and points beyond. Over there, 83 parallels us. And up around the bend there, we cross over it again. And up here's where that occurs. Crossing over 83 again. Which is down there someplace. And again, passing through an area with lots of businesses and things. And up there, the road's a bit more peaceful again. Up ahead, crossing over the Pennsylvania Turnpike. Down below there somewhere. To the right, it goes to Philadelphia. And to the left, Pittsburgh and Ohio. And one more red block. And up here, an old truss bridge crosses us into New Cumberland. Now at the north end of New Cumberland, about to depart it. And again crossing over I-83. And now coming into and up here crossing tracks now run by Norfolk Southern beneath the bridge. And yes, we're bearing right. And up there passing beneath tracks operated by Norfolk Southern. Since Conrail is now gone. Tricky curves here on this road. The line was electric, as you can tell, but no longer. Now crossing the Susquehanna into Harrisburg. And here is the historic Walnut Street Bridge crossing the Susquehanna. And there is Harrisburg, capital of PA. That I believe is called either the Humpback Bridge or the Camelback Bridge, one of the two, which will soon be crossing into Harrisburg proper. And here a top view of the Walnut Street Bridge. This bridge was built in 1890, and it's the oldest surviving bridge over the Susquehanna. More historical facts for you there. That's facing east into Harrisburg. But looking to the west, the bridge is closed because a couple of sections up there's a washout. There's a section missing. But that section of the bridge washed out comparatively recently, either late 80s or early 90s. Actually, this park is on an island in Susquehanna, and that part of the bridge that crosses over one of the Susquehanna channels. part of which can be seen down there. And this part of the bridge that I showed you first crosses the other Susquehanna Channel, the East Channel. As I said, across the river is Harrisburg. And the bridge we're about to cross to get into it. I'm now crossing the Camelback/Humpback Bridge into Harrisburg. They were at the top of the Walnut Street Bridge. Now to pick my way through Harrisburg. I'm now here by the Harrisburg Amtrak station. And over there a toaster waiting to depart with one more train behind it. And more of Harrisburg Station. Thought I heard a train horn. Something could be about to pass on the far side. A bunch of flat cars. No wonder I thought it was just an engine and that's it. Just engines. A flat car train. Just came to a full stop. And there they are, about to head west towards Horseshoe Curve and Pittsburgh. Just one thing though, just to the west of here is where the Canton area ends. They gotta change locomotives because that's an electric locomotive there. They gotta take that off and put a diesel on for the remainder of the trip to Pittsburgh. So I guess they're just staying over here right now. On the one next to it's probably waiting for an electric locomotive to go east. But here you have it, Harrisburg Station. A train station on a route which is not disused. Up there in eastbound movement as we depart. We want to pass under it. And now to find my northbound route. And the high bridge there of sorts. That's real high up. Some road crosses it. Now heading north. Trying to find my next road. Oh, almost got cut off there. By a hurried Harrisburger. Whatever you call somebody from here. A nut. At this point, westbound US 22 follows this route. Although we're facing north right now. It's almost 1:30 as we depart Harrisburg. So it's 4 hours we've been out so far. In the distance, our next mountain crossing. About to cross over I-81 right now, which we'll see part of later on. And there's the Northern Central. This road just crossed over it. Now it's on our right's in place. But the route that we'll be taking parallels the Northern Central. Now the Central's up there on that ledge. The same when it comes out of Baltimore. We're going to pick up 225 for a spell as far as Halifax. North on PA 225. Soon to cross a mountain. At this point, Route 325 also follows this road along with 225. And there's the mountain we're about to cross. Now winding up our mountain, at the top of which passes the Appalachian Trail. And here at the top of the mountain, when crossing the Appalachian Trail, they built a bridge for it now. In the days of old, you used to have to cross the road when hiking the trail. And we're going down there somewhere. To PA 147, which joins this route. Another recent sheets just opened. I will stay at 147 for the remainder of the trip into Sunbury before proceeding east. Now entering Halifax, another Northern Central Railway town. And down here, one of the Northern Central's crossings, with the Susquehanna faintly in the background through the trees. Yep, the same Northern Central that comes out of Baltimore, that goes through Robert E. Lee Park and used by Baltimore's light rail. Same line. And again the Susquehanna. And again the Central. This time looking north towards Sunbury, which we'll eventually see. And now back north on 147 as we depart Halifax. First time myself traveling this part of 147. Never seen this before, but I know where it goes. And believe it or not, now passing through a place called Tourist Park. Doesn't look to me like much of a tourist attraction, but that's the name of the place. And to our left, the Northern Central paralleling us. There's the Central again. Now, of course, operated by Norfolk Southern. The sun is shining, but despite that, we're picking up some rain. It's sunny and raining at the same time. Welcome to Pennsylvania. The rain appears to be simmering down as we pass through another hamlet. And up there, back into the spaces. Another mountain in front of us as well. I guess we'll climb it. What else do you do on a mountain? Apparently we go around that mountain instead of crossing it. And again over there, the Central and Susquehanna. Over there, Central CPLs. Funny how CSX stopped using those, but every other line is now using them. And if you're keeping track, we've come 103 miles from Baltimore. 103 so far. Not bearing upgrade. Even got a passing lane there on the right. Another mountain crossing up here. On the top of the mountain with some cool clouds there. As mentioned, part of my premise to my Day Odyssey series is taking off the beaten path routes such as this. As you can see, just very few of us beating this path. What more can one ask? Now entering a place called Dalmatia. It almost sounds like a dog, Dalmatian. Get this one and 100 more, I make a movie. Another old-time town here. My favorite kind. Yes, indeed. Folks actually live here. And the house is for sale there. That light blue one. And it got a church there, so you're set to go. Not departing it. So as you come into the town, another 35 seconds, you're out of it. My kind of town. More northern central, Whiteman, whatever, CPLs. Almost forgot what they were called. Here's where the routes separate. For 225, 147 split. Let's say 147, of course. Continuing on towards Sunbury. Another 14 miles out. That isn't bad. Actually, I thought it was further than that. Now passing through the village of Herndon. and more of the town. And this town's bigger than I thought it was. It grew all of a sudden. But here you have it. It kind of looks like one of those West Virginia towns that you pass on Route 55. For those who are familiar with Route 55. Look, yep, here we departed. Up here at the edge of town. Back into the spaces. For a while. But first, another house I can afford. Sort of. The house is nearby this Central. The Norfolk Southern passed right in front of their house. I don't know if you're watching this, prefer CSX, right? Some Pennsylvania scenery there for you. More mountain stuff. And down there the valley we're about to descend into. And now in that valley, livestock. Thought I'd pull over by the road back there and get a quick shot of it from above. And as per usual, there's the Central again paralleling. Now crossing over the Central, which is now down there someplace. Here, gotta make a turn to keep on the route. Oh no, stay straight on this road, North 147. Okay, I got you. As I said, my first time through here, so bear with me. Anyway, now arriving in Sunbury, the one-time northern terminus of the Northern Central. It used to end here before trackage rights acquisitions extended it to Canada. We're gonna make a turn here for sure. Again, got the Susquehanna to our left, but that wall blocks the view of it. But trust me, it's there. Turn right to pick up PA 61 eastbound. That'll be our route to Centralia. Well, I got the arrow, okay. Groovy. Up ahead again, the Central. Look at it there. Thought I'd grab a quick look. And again in Northern Central CPL. And facing south on the Central. Again passing right in front of people's houses there. Pretty cool to get a Norfolk Southern freight passing in front of your house. What else can you ask? I now stop by Sunbury Station on the Northern Central, facing south. And now we're trackside. It's hard to believe that this is the same line coming out of Baltimore. Still trackside, but facing north this time. I'm just getting less wind noise. Sunbury Station on the Central. But, as mentioned, the Central began in downtown Baltimore, and this was the northern terminus for the longest time. But then in the late 1800s, they acquired more track north from here and in New York State. Between that and trackage rights over other lines, the Central reached Canada. That way, about another 1,000 miles. And apparently I'm parked on a former siding. How about that? Interesting old city block there, right by the station. And again the station as we departed, along with the track. And the Central one last time as you cross over it. Downtown Sunbury, with pollen in the air. It's about 3:20 right now as you prepare to depart Sunbury. I guess now we're in the ritzy part of town. Whatever. I'm now heading on out. One more truss bridge, just like the one at New Cumberland, I would assume. Nice turn signal there. Nice courteous Pennsylvanians on this day. I'm about to pass beneath another rail line of sorts. This one comes off the Central, but don't know where it goes. Now we're out of Sunbury, back on the open road. It's the following PA 61. Got some more mountains out there. But this is my first time over this road, so I don't know which ones we cross. Now 3:30 p.m. Been on the road 6 hours. Of course, that counts the stops. Where I stop to show you all the cool stuff along the way. Buckle up, it's the law. Kind of thought so. And that one says targeted enforcement area. So make sure you're buckled up right now if you're watching this. Passing some industrial stuff at the foot of a mountain. A rather high one at that. And to the left parallels another rail line, but don't know which one. Again, probably operated by Norfolk Southern, even if only very infrequently. Now bypassing a place called Uniontown, there on the left. So I guess there are at least two Union-towns in Pennsylvania. One here, and one on Route 40 West. And something up the mountain there. And up here we see PA 225 again, going to the south. If I had taken 225 instead of 147, it would have come out of there, and then proceeded this way. 225 would have been shorter. 147 is more scenic and has more history along it. Another cold town here. Well, I gotta turn left. I did it. This is Smoking, Pennsylvania. Because I guess they're smoking. Whatever. And departing, Smoking. Still east on 61. They're still getting red blocks. Now passing through Baltimore, PA. A town on a hillside. And downtown, Baltimore, if you want to call it that. Back on the open road, but not for long. Because we're already coming into our next locality, a place simply called Strong. That's it. 54. That goes south towards Lancaster County. Places like Blue Ball, and even a place called Intercourse. That'll take you there too, in case you haven't been there in a while. In fact, on this road there are several communities in a row. Well, I gotta turn here, okay. And I did it. This locality is called Mount Carmel. And up here, another turn to keep on the route. My first time this way, but I'm figuring it out. Easy to figure out, you got a sign there. What more do you need? Another turn to keep on the route. been informed just now that Centralia could be our next town. We'll be able to easily tell we come to Centralia because the road will be melting from the underground fire. Hopefully it's not that extreme. You know we're nearing Centralia because all around now it's getting deserted and folks were forced to move out of there back in the 70s. But some folks stayed behind. Got some wind turbines up there spinning away, I guess due to the wind out there. And right up ahead here, we arrive in Centralia. Some homes are left. Most have been torn down. There are homes along here too, long gone when the folks were advised to move out. Alright, hang a right down here. I go to the road over top the coal mine that's on fire. Maybe they got the same idea as we did. Now facing south. Up here the road was eroded back in the 60s or 50s, something like that. Somewhere around here. But because of the ground fire, that had put the route back on this old road. I believe right through there. This road used to become 4 lanes and go through there, but thanks to that fire, they put the road back on the original route. This. So they got rerouted, and then put back here. Now stopped at the southernmost point of the rerouted road. The old 2-lane road bore that way, the way we just came, but the 4-lane reroute would have gone this way before the fire. But to the south, the 4-lane route is still drivable. But we'll go check this out up here, the part that's closed off now due to the fire. And up there over that embankment, the cut-off 4-lane highway that they couldn't use because of the fire. And back to the south, you can see where both roads line up. We'll go up there to the north and have a look. See if you can spot where the smoke rises up from the road. Somebody's in a pickup truck up there attempting to drive the road. One thing I wouldn't attempt. And here we go. A lot of graffiti here on the road though for some reason. A closed road, fun to graffiti up. A little further up the grade right now. But strange how everybody graffitis up the road. Most of it's pornographic. And I'm trying to keep this video at least PG rated, so I can't show all the graffiti. But a bit further up, got a dip in the road. I guess the road buckled from the heat beneath. Want to touch the road surface, the surface feels cold. And a bit further up, more road buckling. I guess the heat from the fire below did all that. As I said, when touch the road, it feels cold. I thought I'd be walking through here and getting hot feet and dancing because of the hot feet, like those cartoons. You know, the road surface is rather cold. And right up there, one big crack in the road. I was hoping to see smoke rising out of that crack. But instead I see her. The fire down below did all that. Been burning since the early 60s, and nobody's been able to put it out. And it's supposed to burn another couple hundred years. That's what I hear. And now facing south, no point in going any further north, because to the north it's more the same. Still very impressive. The fire that burns below did all this. But here it is, Centralia. Your bullfrog made it. I expected a hot road, but the road's not hot. It's hot from the sun, but that's about it. As I said, I'm going to be walking along here and getting hot feet from the hot road, but the road's cold. A little bit of heat from the sun, but that's about it. Hope you enjoyed Centralia. Now almost back to where we parked our car. Over that hill of dirt way down there. And now back to the spot where the reroute and the original route meet up. Now back to the vehicle to check out more of the town. See what else there is to see up here. I'll go back to the town that way, see what else there is to see. I'm now heading north, back into the town. The road with the cracks is through the trees on the left someplace. Lucky this one didn't crack apart. Would have to build a whole new road to replace this one. I'm now by historic St. Ignatius Cemetery. But I forget what's historic about it though. And across the way there, a former neighborhood street before the houses got torn down. And up here, more history. Another old cemetery up there. And guys on ATVs. Only way to get around Centralia is indeed see Centralia by ATV. I'm back in downtown Centralia. And up here is the Centralia Town Hall. Whatever it is to the town. Municipal building, alright. Now facing back the other way again, the way we came. Hard to believe before that mine caught fire. This was a thriving town with all kinds of houses and things along there. Now it's almost a ghost town. In fact, right here is one former neighborhood street that we'll check out. There were homes all along here up until the mid-70s. All torn down, except for a few that are left. Some die-hard folks that wouldn't leave. It's hard to believe these are all neighborhood streets here. But all the homes are now gone. A real ghost town. But here, more sightseers, such as ourselves. They all come to gawk at Centralia. Not much else to do in this town except gawk. And here to the east, one more neighborhood street, but no more neighborhood. Yeah, I like this neighborhood, got it all to myself. Better than the hood I live in now. There will be one house every now and then, but most have been long taken out. Now on a different road heading east, but even this road had houses along it at one time. You can see with the grass plots where the homes used to stand. And back at the neighborhood street we saw before, with the other gawkers, which would stand out of my way so I can drive by them. But yes, these are once all neighborhoods here at one time. All kinds of homes and things. Now nothing. But some folks stayed behind and refused to move. Didn't want to give up their ground. They stood their ground. Yep, stand your ground. Never heard that before. Another neighborhood street there across the way, but no more houses, no more neighborhood. Okay, as my lady just pointed out, this is like the Twilight Zone. Neighborhoods without the neighborhood. But this Twilight Zone I'll take. Have the place to myself. What else you want? Along the right here, go back to the main road. Oh, a divided neighborhood road here. Divided, center stripped. All driveways there, with the houses that used to be there. And sidewalks and things. But all gone, all torn down. Bought up by the feds back in the 70s. And way up there again, those wind turbines. But interesting seeing the grass plots where the houses used to stand. And the driveways. Now nothing's there anymore. And up here back in the main road, we'll turn right to depart and go south. And for those keeping track, this is 160 miles over this route from Baltimore to Centralia. But the way back will be a bit shorter. Now heading south, we came out of there earlier and went down this way to get to the dead end, which we'll pass again. Folks taking ATVs down the old part of the road. We gotta go this way though, the original route. And there's where we stopped earlier to take a walk up the cracked road. Hard to believe there's a fire burning beneath our feet. In this case, beneath our car tires. Departing Centralia. But there's more to see, so don't go away quite yet. Just passed through Ashland, Pennsylvania. And heading for Locust Dale. And now south on Lavelle Road. Heading for its namesake, more crossing of sorts. Another one I believe operated by Norfolk Southern whenever they feel like operating it. Now on a road known as High Road. I guess this area back there would have been Lavelle. Just passed through it. We turn left to pick up 901 eastbound. Now Southland PA 901. Heading for I-81. And a few more mountains up there. We departed Centralia around 5:30. It's about 5:45 right now. Just departed 9:30 from home. Departed Centralia at 5:30. A whole 8 hours. So 5:45 now. Departed 5:30. So we'll see how long the trip back takes. Having more direct routes. Normally avoid freeways and take off the beaten path routes. But on the way back, I need a more beaten path. For several reasons. And up here, I-81, the beaten path I'll be using back south. Yeah, we'll fly by Harrisburg again, you got it. Back in the 1980s and 90s, this was a very common route for us, coming back to the big city this way. In fact, I've traveled the road more at nighttime than in the daytime. And more cool Pennsylvania scenery along this road. Just because it's a freeway, it doesn't mean it isn't scenic. I've been driving all day. I need a straightforward route to get back, and not a crooked backward route. Driving all day, my back's killing me. But then we have fun. So wish from here folks would drive right. They never signal to you. Or the sign said fog area. But today I doubt that. This place is called Ravine. Looks like we're passing through one on either side. Don't know if this is the ravine that the sign refers to. It's almost ravine-like here. Look at that bumpy road all of a sudden. Jeez. It's shaking me up too much. That's it. And Dolly says there's a nice mountains way down there. I gave her credit for something. Noticing mountains. Up here is I-78, which goes east towards Allentown and New York City. Worst thing on this road. Up ahead is the exit for Fort Indian Town Gap. Dolly points it out because way back when, her grandfather was stationed at that fort. He must have been good because he got a street named after him on the property. That's cool. My grandfather got his own street. They don't do that anymore, do they? This is a southbound route, but our compass direction is almost due west. Hence the sun and the glare. But I'm trying to keep those to a minimum. And up ahead, back in the Harrisburg area, we're approaching I-83, the last leg of our journey. 83 south to York, and then on to Baltimore. And now officially on I-83 southbound. And again passing Harrisburg. I'm recrossing the Susquehanna down there somewhere. It's still way folks drive up here. They never signal to you. Earlier we crossed that bridge from left to right on our way out. Facing south, which should make it a bit easier to shoot video with less glare. But they're fixing the road and it's bumpy again. In Pennsylvania, they're always working on something. The road construction state instead of Keystone State. Good. And road work. For now. And way down there, the Pennsylvania Turnpike interchange towards Philly or Pittsburgh, whatever's your preference. But you could have a couple of bucks in your pocket to travel that road. It's a toll road. I've been on parts of it, through the tunnels. Now via time lapse, back in the New York area, and just now crossed over the Northern Central. And beneath one of these bridges here, past the Ma and Pa at one time. They're considering making it into a trail at that point, so we'll see what happens. Will we get one more Ma and Pa trail? And again, more wacky Pennsylvanians. Now they're signaling, but they're in a hurry. If you're viewing this, and you're from Pennsylvania, don't mean to insult you, but just the way a lot of folks seem to drive up here in this state. I wouldn't want to insult anybody, as long as they drive right. Now departing the York area, our next hotspot will be home. Another hour away. Again, Lake Redmond, York's water supply. We had a look at that earlier from the original route. And here with more time lapse, back in the Shrewsbury area. All kinds of stuff there. And the last exit before crossing back into Maryland. It appears where that happens, where we cross back into Maryland. Just crossed state lines. Back in our home state. Well, the line's right here, actually. Right there. As I keep saying, we still got miles to go there before we sleep or do anything else. And up here, one more crossing of the Northern Central. But at this point, no track, just a bike trail. We stopped at Parkton earlier, and I showed it to you. Along with a classic view. The exit for it. Now via time lapse, we're back in suburbia. Too bad. One-hour beltway now, as it's called. I-695. Clockwise. It's a circle route. That's why I said clockwise. And up ahead, the exit to our part of the world. Named after a reservoir. We'll back up over there, because we're getting off here. And up here, about to re-enter town. Back within the city limits. Oh joy. Now back in our part of the world, otherwise known as the Hood. And there's home sweet home. Or should I say, Hood, sweet Hood. Hope you enjoyed today's Day Odyssey. There'll be more coming up, I hope. To more fancy places. Alrighty, until the next vid, hope you enjoyed, and thanks for viewing.